learn from the past, can't change it, but learn from it, and don't repeat those same choices again and continue to learn. So I'd say we're constantly evolving and we're constantly learning from, what works, what doesn't, what the market will command in rents or renovations or even rent projections.
Welcome back, passionate investing community. In the first half of this interview, we talked about some of the things that have been made possible by Joe Fairless and his wealth that he's built up over the years, the importance of a thought leadership program, the importance of consistency in that program. And he gave us some great tips about how to keep that consistency. And he's also discussed personal branding, something that I would consider him to be one of the absolute experts in our business. And also, perhaps most important, giving back. If you didn't listen to that first half of the episode, he has some outstanding ideas, really deep, about giving back and about what he's learned working at a hospice. So here we are. We'll join the second half of this in progress. Thank you. All right, now I'd like to just sort of role play. Imagine you're ready to go and write that $50,000, $100,000 check to a sponsor. You have just one question that you can ask them. What will you say is the most important thing that you could ask?
One question to ask before writing a check. I only have one question. Well, I think I'd like to see the, if I only have one question, then please, this is more of a statement. Please show me your track record of closed deals, which includes your NOI growth from those deals so that I can make sure it's not just cap rate compression.
Right.
And in that same document, I'd like to see your current portfolio and the distribution schedule of your current portfolio so I have an idea of how your current deals are also doing relative to projections.
Yeah, that's huge. Not just looking at the exits. I love that answer. Well, here, one of the three pillars of the passionate living through passive living approach is a focus on continuous qualitative growth. So I'd like to hear a little bit more about how you're creating your wealth mindfully. I know you do have a lot of mindfulness practices. I believe you've been journaling since 2015. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think this would be 10-year anniversary plus about 30 days. So I think you ask a couple questions at the end of the night, like what did I contribute today? What did I learn today? What can you add there? How can you tell us what should we be doing if we want to be more mindful and make sure that we're growing and contributing each day?
You are right. It has been 10 years and a month yesterday that I've been doing a daily journal. Every year, yeah, I probably miss at most 10 days per year for each of those 10 years. So it's pretty cool to look back on. A couple things. One, as I mentioned, family is important to me. And it's not just, saying that, getting to know what's going on in each other's lives. So there are two things that I do with my family that might be helpful for any listener. One is at the dinner table every day, every night, we go around and we say what our high C is. And high
Mhm,
C stands for our highlight of the day,
mhm.
and C stands for challenge. That way, I'm teaching my daughter that life is supposed to be challenging. They're supposed to have challenges. One of my favorite books, Scott Peck's The Road Less Traveled, the opening line is life is difficult. And once we embrace it, once we truly understand it, then when we come across the difficulties, it's not like, oh, woe is me. It's like, oh yeah, this is how it's supposed to be. Now, how can I evolve this from a challenge to something that is empowering? What can I do about it? So high C was our highlight for the day and what's the challenge. And that gets, instead of saying, how was school today?
Yeah.
Because you're gonna get some, generic answer at all. It's at the dinner table. What was your highlight of the day specifically, and what was the challenge that you had today? And if she doesn't have a challenge, I tell her to run around outside the house 3 times. So she's always got a challenge. Oh, we got a challenge. I was like, all right, you don't have a challenge. This will be your challenge. Oh, no, no. Okay, let me think about it. And then the other thing we do is we do a family meeting every Monday, and that we've been
Good.
doing that for a little over 1 year now, and we probably missed 7 times, 7 to 10 times over the course of the last year. And my daughter currently is 6. We started it when she was 5. So what we do is we get a piece of construction paper. It's me, my wife, and our daughter get a piece of construction paper. We come to the meeting with one joke, and normally how it works is you just think of some joke in your head, and would be funny to anybody else because they're really bad jokes. But you just think of something. You At first we would come with the joke, but now we just randomly think of something. You say a joke, and then two is we draw what we got going on this week. And so we each draw what we've got going on for this coming week. And then three is we read a book, a story, and we talk about what we learned
Hmm.
from it. And then four is we circle the picture of whatever we're most looking forward to for that week. And that's it. That's the family meeting with a 6-year-old, at 5 and now 6-year-old. And obviously we'll
Yeah.
evolve it as she gets older to do other things and not draw
Yeah.
pictures probably and actually write words and stuff. But that's what we've been doing. So those are a couple personal development, getting closer to family, and also the high C thing is something you can take with you in any setting in business. Like my business partner and I, when we have our regularly scheduled call, we talk every day, but when we have our call on Mondays, we each say a professional and personal highlight, which
Yeah.
is basically high C.
Awesome. Yeah, I do something similar with my kids. We do a quarterly meeting. They have to suggest an activity. We go and do it. And that's taken me all kinds of crazy things, including Metallica concerts.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, kind of full circle. They were my first concerts, 1990 something.
Yeah, well, fun fact about me, I have two go-to karaoke songs. One is Tag Team Whoop There Is, the other is Enter Sandman by Metallica.
Love it. Actually, that's one of my whimsical questions. Usually we don't have time to get to those, but I love it. Yes. Well, I want to talk about your unique approach to commercial real estate. I know one of the things you like to do, not everybody does this, is you'd like to bring on the property management team as an equity partner. And I know you've actually suggested also that for example, or investors earlier in their career that aren't ready to sign on a loan might suggest to the property management company to come on, bring them on as the guarantor. So, can you tell us some ways that that's helped you as an investor? And then for those of us who might be a little newer or maybe have never had that experience of having the PM as your equity partner, how do you run that conversation to entice them to come on and actually bring some skin to the game?
Oh, we did that early on. We don't do it anymore. We have our
Oh,
own property management company. We're vertically
mhm,
integrated,
mhm.
got $2.7 billion worth of apartment
Yeah,
communities and 14,000 units. So that's no longer a thing for us. We have our own management company. But early on, you do what you need to do, right? You do what you need
yeah,
to do to get the deal across the finish line when you don't have the balance sheet to do so, and the lender's not going to approve you. So did it for first couple of deals with Ashcroft, and it worked out well, but there's things to watch out for. So
mhm,
I'll mention that. How do you approach the management company? Well, it's equity ownership in a deal, and
yeah,
that's awesome for them because
yeah,
they typically just are a fee based vendor. So there's not a whole lot of convincing for them, assuming that they like the deal and that they like you. When it becomes awkward is if they're a GP, but then they're doing a poor job managing it
right.
later, and that happened. So
Yeah, messy divorce.
we had to fire the partner on the property management side, but they were still a partner because they were still a general partner, and that can hurt the relationship, obviously, and it did hurt the relationship. But you got to do what's best for the property. So it comes as with it probably all things. It comes with potential downsides as well as upside. The upside is, hey, if you got a property management company, they've got a balance sheet and they've got the track record that will help get approved for the loan, then that sounds like it could work. And fortunately, with commercial real estate, you don't have to create a company together. You just buy a deal together. And then if that works out, then do another deal together, another
Right.
deal. And then you can eventually formalize something 5 deals down the line if you want, or not, and still do the same structure. But do have that clause in there that you can fire the property management company. You can, not them, because they'll never fire themselves. You can fire the
Right.
property management company if you do that type of partnership.
Now, do you have any advice on firing property management companies? Because I know that's something that needs to be done from time to time. A lot of people say it's not worth a legal battle, but I can't stand to see a good asset being taken down by a bad property manager. I mean, personally, I think you got to just go and send the nasty legal letter as soon as possible, or set the expectation, send the nasty legal letter. That's the way I would handle things. What do you say to that?
I think it's hopefully it's a conversation and they agree that it's not working out, and
Yeah,
then you part ways. We haven't, to the best of my memory, as best I can recall, we haven't had to send a nasty legal letter to a property management company to fire them. It was more just, hey, we're parting ways.
got it.
That partnership thing, that was tricky, and my business partner handled that, not me. But he had some awkward phone calls and some
Yeah.
challenging phone calls with the person. But otherwise, now we have our own management company, so we're set there.
I love it. Well, I like to say that success is a poor teacher. And I know one of the things that you've been really open about. I love it. I mean, you recount something you said on a prior interview. I was on a call with a listener who was applying to be in my consulting multifamily program, and he says, every dude turns to gold. And you said, like, where the hell you get that idea from? So I want to say that I really appreciate that when I listen to somebody that I consider a guru who's actually willing to talk about mistakes. That's huge. That's 10 times better than hearing about successes. So can you tell us about maybe a difficult deal where you maybe had to come in, fire some people, or really change the way you were doing things, and how you turned it around? What did you learn from that?
I'd say deals bought around 2021 with floating interest rates or have been challenging for sure, and that's an understatement. Values were higher then, they're lower now generally, and cap rates expire and they're astronomically higher than what you bought them for. So just navigating that. Yeah, you can't change the past, right? So you just focus on what are the solutions. This is where we're at, and this is the path forward. Learn from the past. Can't change it, but learn from it, and don't repeat those same choices again, and continue to learn. So I'd say, we're constantly evolving, and we're constantly learning from what works, what doesn't, what the market will command in rents or renovations or even rent projections. There's third party companies that we subscribe to that have been completely wrong on rent projections, and
Yeah.
it's challenging because if you can't trust a couple reputable third party companies that everyone knows the name of for rent projections, along with your own
Yeah.
research and along with secret shopping and all of that, then it can be challenging. So last 3 years has been challenging because of the interest rates, because of inflation, because of the elevated expenses, because of the historical amount of supply that's in most markets. But you navigate it and you come up with
Yeah.
solutions and you deal with it and head on, and you keep moving forward.
All right, well, just one last thing I'd love to get into is artificial intelligence. Are there any new or innovative ways of using AI to drive your business forward?
Oh. Yeah, I love AI. I'm a big student of it. Taking a class through Coursera right now with a
Yes.
Vanderbilt professor. I mean, that's a longer conversation. But I'd say one thing is, for all of our deals, this is what we're doing right now. For all of our deals, we're creating a project for each deal, and we're educating the project on that. We're giving it the OM, our investor
Mhm.
package that we send out, all of the updates that we've sent, all the financials, and then the questions and answers that investors that have asked, feeding it in there. And then when we're on a call with an investor, we just go to that project, which is the property name, and then we've got all that information right there in one place versus going back through emails or Word documents or going through a spreadsheet. We're in the process of creating that now, and it's going to be a beautiful thing.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. I see a lot of those things going on right now, and huge differentiator. People who are using AI right, and people who are just having these one-off conversations with AI. All right, so on a scale from one to fantabulous, Joe, how would you rate your lightning round skills?
Oh, 4. I don't know
Four? Oh,
how
come
high
on.
I don't know how high Fabtabulous is, but I'm gonna go 4.
Okay, okay. I'm sure we can get at least
I
a seven or eight out of this.
Fair
All
enough.
right. So if you could be known for just one thing, Joe, what would that be?
Doing what I say I do.
Okay, what is one mistake that has taught you the most as an entrepreneur?
My first syndication where it lost money and I learned a lot of things on what
Got
not to
it.
do.
Okay, what personal characteristic has been most pivotal to your success?
Resourcefulness.
All right, so now here comes the whimsical question. Gonna cut the deck, tell me when to stop, and it's gonna be
Uh,
totally random. All right. What's your favorite part of Thanksgiving dinner?
I'd say playing some sort of sport afterwards.
Yeah,
Usually
love it.
playing catch with the football.
Can you give us a tip or trick that investors can implement in their businesses today?
Yeah, pay for the $20 to be a Chat GPT subscriber, the
Love it.
premium
Yeah, because you
version.
need that if you want to upload your own sources, etc. Yeah, huge. Yeah, I think going to be working with multiple AI tools in the future. Each one is totally different. Now, this is the point in the interview where I usually ask, what's the best book that every investor should read? But since I know you've written three best ever books, maybe I should ask, what is the fourth or fifth best
I would never
book?
say mine. I would never say mine. Crucial Conversations.
Okay, do you have an author for that? We'll look it up.
No, it's like two or three people wrote it, but Crucial
Awesome,
Conversations.
awesome. And can you send us out with a quote to help forge our listeners as leaders and entrepreneurs?
Nothing has meaning until you decide to give it meaning.
All right. So, email, website, carrier pigeon, or smoke signals. What is the best way for our listenership to contact Joe Fairless?
You can go to ashcroftcapital.com and you can read all investor testimonials about what they say about investing with us, and then you can reach out through the website, look at different deals that we've got.
All right, yeah, beautiful interview, Anna. Thank you so much. Through, I think, just about everything, including the go-to karaoke song, Enter Sandman. So now you know. And just want to thank you for taking the time to share your knowledge and experience with our audience.
Enjoyed the conversation. Thanks, everyone.
It was a pleasure.